All right, everybody, so welcome back to another episode of Colt and Posey Fishing. So today we're going to be talking about high percentage areas, what you can do to maximize the short amount of time you may or may not have on the water. So this is a big thing that I developed, especially in the tournament fishing scene. It's difficult to just fish an area and then not get bit, especially when you're working with a short amount of time. Like if you only have a couple days to practice or something like that, you can cover a lot of water without having to just sit on one spot and hope that they bite. So stay tuned, this is something you don't want to miss. All right, so let's talk about high percentage areas. So high percentage areas is areas that you're gonna focus on, especially like when you're breaking down a lake. Maybe it's for a tournament, or maybe you're just going to a new lake, or maybe it's a lake that you fished your whole life, but you know, you're just kinda trying to figure out some new stuff. So one of the biggest things is, like, let's say I'm fishing, we're gonna treat this pocket that I'm in like it's a main lake area, okay? So that's one of the easiest ways that I think I can explain it to you. So like, let's say you pull up to a main lake area, right? And we've got a rock right out here to the front of me. This rock comes way out and then circles around just like a point would on your, you know, your main lake or anything like that. That is considered a high percentage area. You want to hit that point and you want to hit it efficiently. So, you know, baits are going to vary depending on what lake or what river system you're on. So, you know, if they're eating threadfin off the surface, you know, you want to be running the top water baits, the flukes, stuff like that we always talk about a lot. But let's say, you know, you're pushing back up into a creek and it's a long creek. I mean, it may take, if you're really settling down, it may take you an hour or two to fish it. Well, you can fish that creek real efficiently in a short amount of time. One area that we fished not too long ago on Bear Creek is a huge stretch of bank, and we fished it in less than 20 minutes. So you know, it would typically take, you know, most people anywhere between an hour to an hour and a half to fish that area efficiently. Well, we fished it, like I said, in a very short amount of time, and we caught the fish that were on those high percentage areas. So one of the things, like if you're moving up into a creek, right? Over here to my right, we've got some brush that comes off that tree right into the water. That is considered a high percentage area. All the way at the back, we have got more buckbrush, and that buckbrush that's back there is also considered a high percentage area. So if I'm moving back into this creek and I want to fish this creek efficiently, I'm going to hit the brush right here to my right as I'm coming in, and then I'm going to hit the buckbrush at the very back. That's really the two areas that I'm going to focus on, and then on my way out, obviously I'm going to hit like the point and stuff like that. Now, let's say maybe you're fishing a lake like we're at today, Lewis Smith, and it's got tons of boat docks, okay? So I mean, you could fish boat docks for a year if you wanted to, never have to leave the lake. How do I separate, you know, what docks are going to have fish on it minus docks that don't have fish on it? Number one is obvious, the lights, okay? So, you know, if you're there first thing in the morning and you're around some docks that has dock lights on them, a lot of times these fish will congregate around those dock lights at night and feed, typically all night. A lot of night fishermen understand that, and that's what they do. Well, first thing in the morning, they're still going to be in those areas. But now let's say maybe you're going middle of the day or something like that, and you think those fish are kind of pushed up under those docks and you want to fish them efficiently. So I got docks over here behind me. I've got one tucked back up here in this corner. I've got another one tucked back up there in that corner. I've got one that sticks way out right here at the beginning. Fish all three. There are three different docks there in different areas. So I got one at the back, I got one about midway of the pocket, and then I've got one sticking out of the pocket. Fish that, all three, efficiently, quickly. Fish the front, fish the sides, fish the shade lines, stuff like that. Let's say I get bit on this first dock that's sticking out further than the rest of them. Okay, then once I fish the other two, maybe I don't get bit. I move to a different area that's set up very similar, and then I fish the dock that's sticking the furthest out, and I get bit off that dock sticking the furthest out. Okay, we're on to something. So now I try to make that into a pattern. So I go to a different area that's very similar to that. I fish the same thing, and I catch a third fish that tells me, hey, there's fish, you know, on the dock that's sticking further out, and then I can focus on that around, you know, the entire lake. Now maybe you're fishing like a bluff lake, so like we've got a lot of bluffs up here. Maybe you're fishing bluff walls, and all the bluff walls look the same. What separates the difference? It could be run-ins, there could be treetops, there could be laydowns. There's several different factors, but you need to pay close attention to when you're breaking these, you know, areas or these lakes and stuff like that down. Pay close attention to how you're getting bit. Not only focusing on, you know, the bait itself, what bait you're using, but focus on the areas you are getting bit. if I flip up against a bluff wall, right, and there's a lay down hanging off that bluff wall, and I got bit on that lay down, it's the same thing. Okay, maybe I go further down, I find another lay down, and I get bit again. Then I'm gonna start putting those pieces together, and then throughout the day you can really focus on, you know, those lay downs off the bluff walls. If I start getting bit, you know, lay downs off of bluff walls, I'm going to hit every lay down that I see, you know, on the bluff walls. I'm going to be actively looking for them, so you can eliminate a lot of water, and just save a lot of time. So, you know, you don't have to put in those, you know, 5 12-hour days before, you know, a tournament, if you're, you know, willing to put that much time into it. But whatever the case may be, focusing on high percentage areas, using baits quickly and efficiently. Once you get to a high percentage spot, like, you know, the lay down that we were talking about right to the right of me and stuff like that, fish that area out. Fish that little brush pile right there out, fish it efficiently, and then move. Move. That doesn't mean, you know, once I fish that and I want to go right there to the back, that I'm going to just zoom right back there. I'm going to have that trolling motor, you know, a little bit more than midways on your dial, whatever the case may be. It may go up to 100 or 10 depending on what trolling motor you're using, but, you know, if it goes from 0 to 10, I'm going to have it on about 6 or 7, and then I'm going to cruise straight down there, never let off the trolling motor, and I'm going to be throwing something efficient like a square bill or something that I can move efficiently and cover a lot of water. So guys, I hope the video helped you. If it did, make sure to like, subscribe for more content. I got you covered when it comes to anything bass fishing. Not only that, we've got members only now, so if you'd like to help support my work, it's $2 a month. You get my content exclusively early, so it could be all the way up to a week early. That means you can answer or ask your questions early. I can get right to you. It highlights everything, especially on live streams and stuff like that. So also, if you have any questions at all, make sure to drop a comment down below. I'll be glad to answer. I appreciate it, guys. I'll see you next time.